We are live, coming here with a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I'm your host, Trevor, and tonight we are joined by Andy. Andy, how you doing?
What up, what up?
And we're also joined by Alex. Alex, how are you doing tonight?
Yo.
And we are here with the episode 11 recap show, and let me tell you, another great episode. I thought tonight was a very good episode. I think this might be our first time in 5 episodes we haven't had a puzzle. Fair to say. Very straightforward. One golf clap for them. Okay. Timing's a little off here. I thought the delay was a little that bad. But, yeah, pretty solid episode. Andy, initial thoughts. What do you got for us?
I could go for another hour and a half. I mean,
wow.
I love this. I've been saying for the past couple episodes, the challenge is back. It is all the way back now. Loved it from
You're back?
Way you're back. Literally from the beginning till the end. I loved every minute of it. Hell, I might go rewatch after this.
Wow. Okay, we all know that's not true, but Alex, what'd you think?
Yeah, I liked it too. I mean, I feel like the season as a whole, every single week in some way has delivered. I think we had a really good episode tonight. We did not have they didn't go to the club scene, which I feel like is a usual wasted 10 minutes of the episode. And I feel like we just didn't waste a whole lot of time. We had a lot of stuff happen before even the challenge. Obviously, anytime you can get a pole wrestle. And then just the fact that I think at this point, the numbers are dwindling down. And it took us a while to get to this point. But when you start to have somebody going into elimination, you can say, okay, he's only picking between this person, this person, this person. It really just makes it a whole lot more interesting as opposed to, episode 1s, 2s of the world when basically everybody's on the chopping block. But yeah, I mean, overall, I thought very, very good episode.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at the chat right now, I feel like everybody's kind of agreeing. We got the boys back at it, Mikey the Doctor, Finn Duffy back at it. And I think the best way to describe it too is this, and like Duffy writes, this season has really turned a new leaf. 2.0 of this season, it really has. As much as I don't want to give credit to production, it's good. I thought tonight's episode, we kind of talked about, very engaging, and I just enjoyed it. So, any lasting things on that, or should we just dive right into the recap?
Let's just dive right in. Trev, happy to have you kind of controlling where things are going as you watch the episode and know exactly what happened and can kind of help guide the pod.
Well, yes, that is my main job. So hopefully
most days.
Well, we'll just get into that another time. So, like I said, how does every episode start? It's got to be the streak. And let me tell you, I was a little nervous for hot sec watching the streak. It didn't just get right into it. It was about a 5 to 7 second gap, and I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie, hand up. But the streak continues. Alex, anything? I mean, came up with this theory, and I mean, still there.
It was the first time this season where it was only one person, only Ashley, right?
Very true, and she kind of stormed through the house, so it wasn't really that fast or anything, but it was still pretty good. So, looking at the episode itself, initial thoughts, or initial part of the episode, nothing big really happened. I think the biggest thing in the beginning of the episode was Corey's boot camp. And I think Corey's boot camp was just full smirk. Corey just, guys, let's focus, let's lock in, let's actually, show that we care. Then you see Kyle waving the flag around. Big T can't do more than 5 seconds of that. What was our thoughts on that?
I mean, the whole Corey's boot camp just showed how delusional Corey is. I mean, he wants so badly to be a captain and a leader and to be the face of the red or the pink team. And it's just so apparent that no one gives a shit. I mean, Mikey the Doctor just put it. Mikey and Finn Duffy both just said Nelly's boot camp totally trumps Corey's boot camp. Nelly's boot camp was awesome, and Corey's was such a cringe-worthy way to see someone try to be a leader. It was just like, what the hell are you doing?
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. Do we think they're forcing too much on Corey? Like, we kind of talked about there's not really a face of the season besides CT. But I feel like they've shown a lot of Corey recently, and they're trying to like build him up to someone even better than he is.
Well, let me go this route with you. Is it the challenge trying to build up Corey, or is it Corey trying to build up Corey? Because I would say the latter.
Yeah, or do they just not have any other content and they're just throwing that out there? Like, realistically, how often do you think, like, and I don't want to call it, I guess I will, Corey's boot camp or, like, that stuff happens in a challenge house? Like, how often do you think, like, now, let's say, CT's like, all right, guys, like, his team, let's get a workout in. And then, they just label it as Corey's boot, you know what I'm saying, like a CT's boot camp. Do we think that happens often or no? We think Nani and those guys are just sitting by the pool drinking mimosas all day.
Smoking cigs.
Yeah. So
I think it's a little different now because I feel like in this era of the challenge, we don't have it. The whole teams concept isn't as often.
Yeah.
Whereas like back in the day, you used to have that more. Whereas like now it's more so pairs. I like kind of going back to Corey and like doing this boot camp and everything. Wasn't it? I feel like it was when his first couple seasons, like the Rivals 3, Bloodlines of the world. Wasn't it back then where like he said, I don't know if it was on the show or like in interviews, whatnot, but like his like job, quote unquote, was a personal trainer. Is that like still what he says his day job is?
I think well, besides being a father,
Corey has kids?
I thought he was training NFL players, right? Maybe before we even knew it. Full circle.
Oh, Corey was training Fezzi.
What? What'd you say?
Are you saying you're saying Corey might have been training Fezzi a few years ago
for the NFL for the draft combine?
Yeah, because Corey at his level, personal
sorry to interrupt. But before I can even talk anymore, can we just talk about how disrespectful and how disrespectful Fezzi's alumni was this past weekend? The University of Tennessee throwing all that stuff on the field, delaying the game for 20 minutes. I mean, just horrible. And not to mention the quarterback at the end of the game just rolling out of bounds and not even throwing it up. Just a horrible display. I mean, Fezzi should have gone out there and, told the crowd to calm down. But sorry for interrupting. I just had to get that out there.
Well, Fezzi couldn't do that because he's an introvert.
Chattanooga. What were you gonna say, Alex? Before I cut you off and
I don't remember. I got interrupted very, very abruptly. What else stood out before the challenge?
I would say all the FaceTimes. I mean, where did all these FaceTimes come from? Like, I mean, you had Ed from the Circle called Tammy from the Circle, which was out of the blue, and then you had what? And then you had Big T calling people, and then you had Nelly T calling his mom. I thought Nelly T's phone call was hilarious with the whole like, oh, my mom, like, she's always checking in on me. What? Am I wrong?
No, the chat.
Oh, sorry. Nelly T calling his mom and being like how she's like, oh, I'm always so nervous for him and stuff. It was like kind of like cute and sad. Like, good Lord, like relax, man. But what'd you guys think about the FaceTimes?
I mean, FaceTime's awesome. I was so confused. So was Tammy from the Circle? I mean, what the fuck is the Circle? Like when he said that, and she was like on a boat. She barely had reception. It was almost like he was FaceTiming her while he's on the challenge, but she's like, wait a minute, no. I'm on my own reality show. Like, this is my FaceTime to you. I mean, that whole interaction was just awesome. I mean, can we start saying that, especially granted the level of female competitors that are rookies that we've seen this season and last season, can we get Tammy from the Circle?
I mean, he doesn't know. And I think after tonight, I think I'm putting this out there. We'll put out a poll and stuff. But I think me, Andy, and Alex might have to watch whatever season Ed from the Circle is on and review it. Like maybe during the off season, maybe like a full season recap. But I'm intrigued now. I mean, what could his mom be on the show be like? I mean, just bananas. And then the last FaceTime I forgot to say it was Kyle. Kyle and his what was the word on the bottom? It was like Kyle's partner or something like that. It didn't say like his girlfriend. It didn't. I just thought it was kind of weird with that. And then the whole baby ultrasound or whatever. Like, oh, it kind of looks like you. God,
Yeah.
Kyle, you're so smirk.
Yeah, showing the ultrasound is weird. Just it's kind of awkward the whole time. I think my biggest takeaway from all the FaceTimes was like, I don't know about you, but like in a weird way, it almost like feels weird to think about Nelly having a family and like having parents. Like he always just kind of feels like he's like a lone soldier. I think he didn't we hear that he like owns a nightclub, but he can't pop a bottle. And so like in my mind, I just picture Nelly like living in Texas, doesn't know the capital. He manages a strip club. He, bangs Ashley on the weekend and has just like no family that he like keeps in touch with. So it was nice to see his mom call in.
Yeah. I'm just picturing him too, like in a few years, like when he retires from the challenge and he starts to have like a family and stuff. And he's like, training these kids like how to swim and stuff, and it's like, oh, look at Scuba Nelly training and stuff like that. What, Andy?
You think Nelly's starting a family soon?
You don't think so?
I don't. What's more preposterous, that or Nelly giving swimming lessons? I mean,
well, Scuba Nelly. I mean, that's iconic, legend.
Scuba Nelly is iconic, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I just picture him like being that dad figure, putting on like the whole snorkeling stuff to like train the kids. They have like floaties on, so unnecessary. You're just at like the moorings pool where it's like a 4 foot deep and just doing all that stuff. It would be just classic. And then the last thing we kind of had before the challenge is the whole relationship between Tori and Emmanuel. And this relationship to me just gives off so much Jordan vibes. It's kind of scary, I think. Andy, Alex, anything you guys want to add?
I mean, he does look like him. And, I mean, Tori's just I don't know. I mean, that relationship makes sense, but at the same time, it's just like it's like the flavor of the month club. Like whoever's there, Tori's gonna fall in love with, probably get engaged, probably like live together, break it off, go back on the challenge, rinse and repeat. That's just what she does.
Yeah. Sorry, I was laughing at the comment by Mike the Doctor. Could you imagine him helping his kid doing math homework? Could you imagine Corey helping out his kids 9 times 3 on the times?
They would probably help him.
Yeah. How old is what's the kid's name that he had with Cheyenne?
I think it's Ryder. Isn't it Ryder?
Right. It definitely is.
Could Ryder like complete like a children's puzzle faster than Corey could?
I think she could do a times table. Like you remember back in the day when you used to flip over a times test and you'd have like 2 minutes to fill out like 100 times problems or whatever. I think she could get more right and do more than Corey for sure. Hell, she should train him for the next challenge, honestly. Instead of Corey's boot camp, Ryder's boot camp. Could you imagine just bringing him over to the table? All right, Dad, time to do a puzzle.
They like show an elementary class in those little desks, and it's Corey sitting next to Nelson.
I know. I'm getting those like Billy Madison vibes. It's just him in the classroom, just like desk is like his like feet are like up to here and stuff. You can't like sit or anything.
He'd be talking to the teacher like, I don't want to go to high school yet. And she'd be like, Corey, I'm not graduating you. you haven't passed. You're the lowest in the class.
Oh. All right. So we talked about Tori and Emmanuel. What were you going to say? Were you going to say anything, Alex, on Tori and Emmanuel?
No. Well, I did. We did have somebody tweet at us and basically say, and it kind of ties into later in the episode, but they said that apparently there was a rumor that in the elimination, Tori was rooting for Kyle tonight because Ed from the Circle rejected her earlier in the season.
Wow.
And they showed like a Tori Ed from the Circle flirting scene like way back.
They're eating.
And so now, like hearing a rumor like that kind of makes sense. Like maybe it was a thing at the time. Ed kind of said no. Ed from the Circle said no. And then Tori moved on to fake Jordan, and then now she's rooting for Ed from the Circle to go home. So was that you, Jesse Adams? Thank you. Yeah.
Is Tori slowly becoming the new Nani?
I
think
mean,
the question needs to be asked at least.
I think quickly.
I think, yeah. I think I think you're dead on, Andy. Now that I'm like going back through the seasons, and she's kind of had somebody every season. She's kind of gone along. So
well, and it's like kind of Nani with more like an infidelity side. Like Tori is like always with somebody. I mean, she Jordan fucking engaged on the show. We recapped an episode where Tori got engaged to another challenger, and then 18 months or whatever later, they're completely split.
Yeah.
And that same challenger that she got engaged to was also the same challenger that she cheated on another challenger to start their relationship with.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just classic. All right, so moving on, going to the challenge itself. This challenge is pretty straightforward. You're basically jumping from so you're raised up in the air, you're jumping from platform to platform, and then at the end, you have to jump. You can't land on the platform. You have to jump and pick up, what was it, like a little what's the word for it? I'm going to call it a keychain, basically, but it was like a what piece?
Wire.
It was a what?
Wire, cord.
Yeah, wire with a piece attached to it, whatever. So I think CT went first, right? And his team, the blue team, he was the only one who got it, correct?
Yeah, kind of surprising, especially seeing that, we'll get to the other two teams, but every team besides them had at least one person, or I guess exactly two people finish. And so to see CT go and get it, set the tone, and then you had like Ed from the Circle, Nelly, even Ashley is a good competitor. Like none of them were able to pull it out, which basically, screwed their entire chances because they were the only team with one. It was just CT doing the bananas backpack to his entire team.
Yeah. I know we only had, I believe, 2 commercials during the time. Did we have anybody repeat the rules? I don't think so.
Ed from the Circle.
Ed, yeah.
Oh, damn. I thought we snuck away with it. But what a shame. All right, so like we said, CT was the only one for the blue team. Then we go to the pink team, and like you said, we had Corey hit it. Kyle cheats, jumps on the last platform, grabs it, falls off. Logan makes it. So right there we have 2, and then in the last group, they make it dramatic. The first 3 people of that group falls off. And then we had Casey and Devin both get it to make it 2. So right now it's a 2-2 draw. Or 3-2 win for Ruby squad, pink squad. And TJ does the classic, hey guys, actually Kyle fucked this up. We're just going to come down to time. 2v2. Who wins? Green team wins. Casey and Devin from going across pick up the dub. So were we surprised? And one other thing, I'll lead into it. Let me be the first to say, can we please get Burger King back as a sponsor? I'm sick of the P3 bullshit. I get, you get some money, you get, it was just like a safe of like, is P3 just like frozen meals? Is that all it is? Or is it like?
Oh, it's almost like
peanuts.
Think a Lunchable with peanuts, like some sort of like meat, like protein, like the hams, turkeys of the world, and then like cheese.
Gotcha.
But in like a Lunchable packet.
Gotcha. And then they're paying an extra $3,000 per each one. But like, here's the thing. Will that make me go buy P3? Absolutely not. If that was Burger King, would it make me buy BK? Absolutely. And I hate Burger King. I believe after that episode last year with Burger King, I think we did like a Mount Rushmore of fast food restaurants or something, right? Didn't we do something like that?
Did Burger King come back last year?
Wasn't it last year or the season before?
I feel like Burger King's kind of been away for it for a few seasons. Because remember there was that one season where the sponsor was some like obscure water bottle company, and like they literally just drank water as the prize. I feel like maybe they did it last season. I just don't remember. But I feel like they did Burger King a few seasons in a row and then started to go towards the P3s, Waters of the world. Like you said, I miss the Burger King sponsor. I think my favorite part about it, aside from Tony Raines wearing the crown on his hat while he was like in the Troika or whatever, was just the fact that like you could tell, as opposed to getting peanuts and cheese after a win, like these people wanted like actual just like sick fast food, like disgusting hamburgers, just like shove it in their mouth. Like they knew it wasn't good for them as like competitors training for a final. They didn't care. They're in the middle of nowhere eating like catered food every day. Get a familiar face, get the king back there. And so that's kind of why I miss Burger King, is they would literally pig out for that shit.
Well, don't forget, they are eating catered food, but they are also eating frozen pizza. Aside from Anissa.
What's Anissa eat?
Mud.
How long do we got?
Mud? I mean, come on. Out of anything you could have said, corn, shit, or whatever, you say
that's where pigs go.
That's where they roll around, dude. Good God. All right. All right. So after the challenge, we go back to the house. We see Logan is still hurt. His hamstring's a little tight, looking like Timo Werner out there. And we got tonight, which do we like when we don't see, you know what I'm saying? How we don't see a club for a little bit and then we see a club. Do we like that better? Would you rather just see a club every episode?
I think it's fun to see a club when there's some sort of post-club drama.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's not like a huge fight or anything, but like, I only like seeing the club when we all see them acting like drunk fucking idiots afterwards. That's the best part of going to the club, because the club itself for them is not fun. But what is fun is all the yelling, screaming, fighting about food. That's where it's like, okay, I'm good with that. But the club, just to like show the club scenes and show Nani dancing a little bit and then talking about how much she loves Casey.
Wait,
I'm
she
out.
loves Casey?
Yeah, she was proud for who else? All right, so I'm glad you brought that up. Who else noticed Nani talking about how she was so proud of Casey for completing the challenge and doing it so elegantly and gracefully with so much humility? 2 seconds after Casey had a confessional where she was literally just like, yeah, I'm the shit. She was like, it was a confessional about Casey saying like, yeah, I mean, I'm going out here. I'm putting on for my team. I'm cool, calm, and collected. Like, they look at me as a leader. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to deliver. 2 seconds later, Nani, oh, she's just her humility. She's so humble. Like, what the hell are you talking about? That was a good little 1-2 punch by production.
What is her opinion of Casey? I think she's a good competitor, but she hasn't won. I feel like a lot of people, I feel like we're bringing this up again. A lot of people feel entitled to a lot of things, and they haven't won shit. So, like, Casey to come in and act like she's a goat, she hasn't won. I mean, the only person that can, on the girl side, that can come in and talk shit is who? Ashley?
Yeah, I mean, I think Casey is just incredibly. We know what we got with her, and like you could, if you told me now Casey's in the next 5 seasons, I would say okay, she's probably gonna make the final a few of those times, maybe win a season, and she's just gonna get into minimal drama. She's gonna stay behind the scenes, and like the thing is, like, that used to be like an okay like way to go about the challenge, but like you're just not gonna get called back anymore. And I think we said it maybe after like her rookie season, where it was like Casey is very clearly like a good competitor. Like, she's physical, she's strong, she does a lot of these things well, but she brings nothing to the table outside of that. So either she needs to bump that up and like bring some drama entertainment, which she did not do last season and hasn't done so far this season, or she can like keep being a really good competitor, but like she has to start like winning finals because like that's really the only way you're going to start being brought back. But even then, like I feel like even if like Casey were to make the final and lose again, I mean, do you really want her back? You know what you got out of Casey.
I think yes, because she's a good competitor and she brings that big brother alliance. She's looked at more valuable than she actually is, my opinion. Like I said, I think she's good, but the problem is we are scrapping for people right now on the show. We're not getting these high, the laurels of the world, whatever. So like in the producer's eyes, Casey is literally a Laurel-esque player or a Cara Maria-esque player. So,
but the problem with that, Trev, because you're right, but the problem with that is she hasn't won anything.
Exactly, but that's the problem. Like we just have these like all these people that have, God, that we have not had somebody who's won. I mean, the only female that we have on the show right now that's won is Ashley, and Ashley is one of those people where she doesn't don't like her. Like you look at a guy like CT. CT brings obviously the rings, and he's a lovable character on the show. On the female side, who do you got?
I think you could maybe. I think I would throw in there in terms of the most all-around package for the challenge. I think I would say Tori. She's good. She's a good competitor. She wins. She brings a lot of drama. People forget she got engaged on the show. I mean,
who? Emmanuel?
We'll get into that. I think that's who I would say is like maybe Ashley too. I feel like you got to throw Ashley some love there for just everything. But
a lot of big reasons.
2 big reasons.
Oh, which are?
We'll get
right
into
and left. All right. So then we go to deliberation. Kyle comes out, basically apologizes to his team. Everybody's like, "Oh, Kyle, it's all right. You better keep your head up." Oh, and all this shit like that. And then out of nowhere, Ed just is like, "Hey guys, I think it's my time to go in," and he volunteers himself so Logan, who's hurt, doesn't go in. And I think it was Ashley or Amanda. I forget, maybe both. Were kind of like, dude, like you don't even know this guy. Like who the fuck is this guy? Like that you're throwing. It's not like it's like a big friendship like a Nelly T and Corey-esque from a couple seasons. Or was that last season or the season before?
2 seasons ago.
2 seasons ago. It's not like it was a move like that. It was somebody you just met. So very sketchy move. To no surprise, Ed gets voted in. What do we think about this move by Ed?
I thought, like you said, I think it was completely out of nowhere, at least in terms of like the way they edited it. Like I feel like from the time the challenge ended to the moment where Ed brought that up, you kind of got the impression that the House vote was going to be Logan, just because it was the easy way out. There was 2 rookies left, and he was the one who was injured, so you felt like they were going to go Logan. And then they get to the deliberation, and Ed from the circle makes that speech about how like they're now best friends. They just met a couple weeks ago, but they're best friends. He wants to protect him, and like I feel like he could have done like a similar thing without taking that step. Like I think he could have said like, I'm not going to call Logan in if I get voted in, but like because we're rookies, we're sticking together. But like to the winning team, like I respect your decision, blah blah blah. Like I don't think he needed to go that extra step of saying like, please vote me in. He could have done it in a way that like made himself look like a good guy, but also like give them a chance to like still vote in Logan.
Yeah.
So here's my take on it. First off, I had a lot of admiration for Ed for doing it. Like that's the kind of shit we just don't really see on the challenge anymore. Like no one really owns up to alliances and deals that they've made. And I personally forgot that those guys even made a deal before Ed said that. But once he said it, it was like, you know what? Like Logan did throw him a bone. So like good for Ed for holding tight to his word. The quote unquote, the word used to be like if you gave someone your word in the challenge, that used to mean something. It doesn't anymore. So like I'm happy to see that. But and Alex was talking about this, like he didn't need to say anything. He should have just said nothing. Like it wasn't his sword to fall on. Like that's kind of like if someone like hits a deer on the side of the road and the deer is like kind of limping and they're like, all right, we should shoot it to put it out of its misery. But then the person riding shotgun says, no, shoot me instead. It's like, wait, what? Like, how does that make any sense? Let alone the fact that it's a hamstring. Hamstrings do not heal in a couple of days. Like Logan is gone. Like he's done. He's out of the challenge. He's not going to win. So it's like you took a bullet for someone you didn't have to take the bullet for, who's also going to die anyways. So it's like I like it, but at the same time, it was not a smart move.
Is there any chance obviously me and Andy know big soccer nerds, the hamstring injury, how it destroys players for months. Do we think Logan could be done? Like next challenge or something? Could you imagine if he just went home with like a medical injury or something? Do we think he could stick this out?
I mean,
if it's a final, if his hamstring's actually seriously hurt, there's a 0% chance he can finish a final.
Yeah, I think he may be in like based off of last week's episode, they were already foreshadowing his injury. And so like if tonight's challenge would have been something a little more, agile, more running, jumping, that type of thing, maybe they just would have sent him home then. Because I feel like they do that from time to time, is like they kind of do it by challenge basis of like, what is this? Can he re-hurt himself? And yeah, it's almost like Ed made this like big, like extravagant, like very nice gesture to like offer himself up. Logan probably should have been like, hey, like, don't do that. Like, I know we're friends. Like, I'm kind of sticking out for you now. Like, don't volunteer yourself. Like, I'm hurt. Like, let me just try to tough it out in the elimination. Like, I respect you for doing that for me, but like I feel like Logan kind of took Ed from the circle for granted a little bit.
Yeah.
And his gesture that he was doing for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So after Ed gets voted in, we kind of just go to the elimination. The scenes in between that were just kind of like Kyle joking around with him saying, hey, throw me a bone. Then you kind of saw like Corey say something and you saw Nelly see something. So you knew it was going to be one of those three guys. And then down on the elimination floor, Ed has this big old speech of, he just doesn't know who he's going to choose, and he ultimately chooses Kyle. So we got Kyle versus Ed in a little pole wrestle elimination. And, when I look at Kyle in a pole wrestle, just like blinders everywhere, and I'm just looking straight at Kyle in a pole wrestle, I don't see him being that good at it at all. And I don't know what it is with that guy. He's so good at that for some reason. I mean, he's beaten CT. He obviously just beat Ed, who, I mean, Ed's not a small guy by any chance. He's very big. I mean, that Philly tough. I think a couple of people are from Philly in the chat that they know the Philly strongness, gritty. But what do we ultimately think about this elimination and what this leaves on Kyle's kind of legacy at the time?
Well, it doesn't surprise me a whole lot that Kyle's good at this, because even though he's a big guy, he has a low center of gravity. Like if you look at how he's built kind of like a tree trunk, where like he's very like top to bottom, very like sturdy. So like he's not going to get tossed around a whole lot, but at the same time, he's very long. Like his arms have got to be like 6 inches longer than Ed from the circles. And like in pole wrestle, that's huge, because if you get stuck in a shitty situation, you can still hold on. And at the same time, if he gets Ed, like where Kyle's about to pull it away, he can just extend and Ed can't do anything. So like the fact that I really do think pole wrestle fits Kyle like perfectly, more so than maybe anyone on the show aside from CT, just because, I mean, he's CT.
But Kyle beat CT.
There you go.
Oh, you said sorry. I'm high right now or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Kyle isn't one of maybe the top 10 tallest guys that we've seen on the challenge of all time. He's definitely not one of the top 10 strongest that we've seen of all time, but like he may be one of those only guys that has just enough length and just enough strength to succeed in a thing like this, in a thing like pole wrestle. We've obviously seen him do it a few times now. And I think it's like he also just like is, I think, just underrated in general, just from the standpoint of like he wins these eliminations that like even though like tonight going into it, you thought there was a chance that Ed from the Circle could win it because it's like it's Kyle, and then he makes finals and he doesn't finish last in finals. He finishes like second or third amongst a lot of people, and so I think it's kind of just that like that persona that he's built and like still maintains to this day as just like a good challenge character. He's funny, he's joking with everybody. And so it gets to something like this where it's like actually physical, and it's a guy who isn't necessarily popping off the screen as like, you know, a CT or even like a Nelson, like somebody that's like ripped in that way. It's just like a normal looking guy like Kyle who's strong enough to compete and win in these things. So I'm happy for Kyle. Ed from the Circle. I mean, it was 2-0, right? That was the final score. But they were both kind of close for some point, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent amount. It wasn't like, you know, ready, set, go. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 over. I mean, it was decently.
And Kyle has the experience. Like for tonight's elimination, he knows exactly how to do it. Like if he can beat CT, he can beat anybody. No offense to Ed from the Circle.
Absolutely. So Kyle wins. Ed goes home. Last few remarks on Ed. I know me and Andy back in the start were very high on Ed. Alex, not a fan at all. After 11 episodes, Alex, what is your takeaway from Ed from the Circle?
Ed from the Circle, I like the guy.
God, there it is.
I do. I mean, I'll admit, I did not like his first. I can't even say half an episode because it was literally the last 2 minutes of episode 1. I think it was when he came on and is like, "Oh, it's Ed from the Circle." I didn't like that. I didn't like maybe the beginning of the next episode. But like, I mean, ever since then, it's hard to really hate the guy. Yeah. I mean, let's talk about Ed's whole season here because it's episode 11 now. I would say for probably 8, I mean, really 10 episodes before tonight, he flew under the radar. Like he just stuck with I think he was with Tori for a while. He stuck with his like veteran partner most of the way. You know, didn't say much, didn't cause any drama. I think with the big Josh and Fezzi fight, he was right there, like kind of egging it on, but not really. He had a drink and some pizza maybe. Like I think he's just like a good, you know, guy. Like he knows how to be like liked by the cast and be in the drama but not causing any of it, just to be right around it, which I feel like is the best place to be. He's a good competitor. Like tonight was, I think, his first elimination. So if he comes back, I would like to see him in another elimination, see him maybe win his first one. But yeah, I'll admit I was not the first one in on him, but I have come around. I like Ed from the Circle.
Andy, anything? I know, like I said, I know we were on him early, so anything Alex said, you know.
I mean, I loved Ed from the Circle. I mean, anytime you come in and just like introduce yourself as Ed from the Circle, even though no one knows what the hell the Circle is, but you expect everyone to be like, "Oh, it's Ed from the Circle." I mean, that is just awesome. Like that's how you make an entrance on this show. And he's a built dude. He's physical. He's like was always like a fun time, always had a smile on his face, seemed like everybody liked him. So like I want to see him back for a while. I hope this is the first of many times that we see Ed from the Circle. He's never like always in the center, like in the exact middle of everything going on. but he's always in the circle.
Sounds like he was in the circle.
Yes.
So Ed goes home, sad, and then Kyle gets to choose. Sorry, I'm reading how stupid of a comment that was from Jesse Adams, saying South Philly and then say I'm from Michigan. Very American Vandal-esque. I think he's from like Korea or something. I'm from Toronto. The higher level guys will understand that one.
Let me ask you guys this very straightforward question about the elimination. Who were you rooting for?
Honestly, I don't care who won. I liked both guys.
Yep. That's what happens when you have two of the most likable guys going at each other. It was a win-lose for us as the viewers. We were going to win because we were going to keep one of them. We were going to lose because we were going to lose one of them. So I found myself mid-elimination rooting for both of them. Where I was like, oh, fuck yeah, Ed, like, you got this. And then, like, come on, Kyle, just take it away. Like, I was just all over the place because I like both of them so much.
God. Mike the Doctor brings up a good point. What if they actually changed his name to Ed from the Circle? Like, on his helmet, it just says Ed from and then just like a circle. Like, that'd be pretty legit.
But is from the circle kind of Chattanooga-esque in terms of like how much we as a pod have exaggerated it?
Oh, I mean, Ed from the Circle is just so iconic.
Well, let's not also overlook the fact that Tammy from the Circle introduced herself as Tammy from the Circle. I mean, like, they are the From the Circle family. Like, that's just where they're from.
I mean, I can't disagree with that. So should this podcast be like Stir the Pod from the Circle? Should we like try to put in our application? STP from the Circle, Alex from the Circle, Andy from the Circle, Trev from the Circle.
I don't see why not.
All right, so Kyle gets to choose, and he chooses to leave his team, which not really surprised with. And then he decides to switch with none other than Nelly T. So Nelly T looks pissed. Nelly T comes down. Kyle's kind of smirking and laughing. All hell has just broken loose in Nelly T's world. And yeah, the episode ends. So anything else from tonight's episode? What are our thoughts? Alex, what do you got for us?
Well, I guess kind of what the last 2 minutes of it introduced was just the whole switching aspect of it. And I guess what I was kind of confused about in a way was like, did Kyle get the power to say, I want to take, I think he did, take this person's spot from Nelson? Like, why wasn't Kyle able to just join the team? And then
that's right. Well,
nobody else switched.
Or take CT's spot. Like, why did it have to be Nelly?
Well,
and same with Emerald. Like, it was either he takes Emmanuel's spot from Emerald. Why not Josh? Like,
no idea.
I'm with you. I don't think we know that yet.
No idea.
But that's definitely going to come into play, especially the next couple episodes.
Yep. Anything else on tonight's episode?
I thought it was solid. We got some new teams now. The green team is still, they're winning back to back. They're getting pretty cocky about it, even though they haven't really shown a whole lot. Teams are switching. So next week, I think we're probably guessing a girls elimination. Hopefully, maybe a double.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say for sure going to be a girls elimination. I think the rest of the way out, I don't think we're going to have a double elimination. Well, just a normal elimination, but we'll just go girls only, guys only, girls only, guys only, the rest of the way, I personally think, which sucks, but it is what it is. So
I did have one last comment I picked up on. I didn't bring it up on when we were talking about the FaceTimes, but one line that stuck out to me from the Big T talking to Mother T conversation was Big T was like, "Yeah, I'm fighting. I'm so close to what? So close to what? We're halfway through. You're not close to anything. Oh, the only thing you're close to is elimination and getting sent home to see Mama T. Don't tell me you're so close."
Yeah, I think she's close to going the fuck home. This is about the time where Big T goes home. Watch it. There was also one random moment. It was on the challenge when Nelson was jumping across the things, and he's like, "I'm afraid of jumping over water." So I start to think to myself, like, happy thoughts. And then it shows the little, it's in his confessional, but they show the little thought bubble of just Corey and Nelson like laughing and talking to each other. And he's like, happy thoughts, happy thoughts. And it's just Corey and Nelson. That was good piece of production there by the editors.
Wow. A positive. Who would have thought?
Does anyone else just still like not buy the Corey Nelson like brotherhood friendship? I just don't fucking buy it. I really don't. Like, I just don't. And I always think back to the Corey Nelson Shane trio elimination where like Nelson literally just like stabbed Corey in the back. And granted, that was kind of when Nelly T was still kind of a douchebag. And I do think he has changed. But like, I don't buy it. That's all I'm going to say. I just want to throw that out there on record. I just don't buy it.
See, my gut instinct is I also don't buy it, just like at a surface level. But I think in a way it's almost neutralized by just how dumb the two of them are. Like, I don't think they actually like are really best friends, but at the same time, they're both just so dumb. They have like the monkey symbols in their head at all times. And so it's like they see each other every season and they're like, oh, this is my ride or die. Like, this is my dog. Like, that's just kind of what I think their friendship is like at this point.
You think they sleep with Mr. Funny Bones?
Maybe.
The higher level guys will understand that one. So let's dive right into some segments tonight. Our first segment is the state of the challenge. And we haven't done this in a few weeks. And I feel like the last time we did this, I think we were kind of just off the rails on what the system was out of and stuff like that. With flippy floppy, all that stuff. I think I said 70 or 73, 83, something like that.
No. You're confusing segments. That was the challenge back meter.
Yeah.
God.
Which is one level below the state of the challenge. State of the challenge is an overall state of the challenge.
State of the union.
I don't think there's any rankings of it. I think it's just a question of, as a franchise, where are we? Where the fuck are we?
I would say we're in a good spot. But the fact that Champs All-Stars, or whatever the fuck it's called, the Challenge All-Stars 2 is coming right around the corner worries me a little bit.
Explain.
Do you think that hurts or helps, though, Trev? Let me go that route with you.
I just think pumping out too much challenge content at one time is not good for our mental health.
Well, do you think it would be
sometimes when somebody watches a certain amount of seasons in a row, maybe for like 30 days, their brain just literally becomes Nelson's with the monkey just going back and forth. I mean, it's just out of control.
Why would they not do it during the off season?
It makes no sense. Why would you not doing it during the off season
the challenge,
and then it tease it up for the following season? Because now what's going to happen? You're going to run this for 5 weeks, 7 weeks, or whatever it is. Hell, there could be a point that Challenge All-Stars 2 finishes before the season.
Well, and we talked about this too. I was very out on All-Stars last year, and I might go back and rewatch it. But when we did our 1x1 of this year's cast, what if it's more entertaining than the current challenge? That's bad. And that's on no one but MTV. to do that to themselves. They're shooting themselves in the foot if that's the case.
Very true. It's almost like they got to get a better cast out for like season 3 already or something.
I mean, they're already about to start fucking filming the 3rd season. The 2nd season isn't even on TV yet.
Wait, season 3 of Challenge All Stars?
They have their cast list, I think, almost final.
Oh, come on. Wait, have they even filmed 38 yet? Or yeah, we're on 38, right?
I don't think so. We're on
Yeah, we're on 38.
Spies, Lies, and Allies is 37, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're telling me we would have there is the potential as of right now, we'll go Spies, Lies, and Allies with an overlap of All Stars 2 with All Stars 3 after and then 38?
Why not?
We just might.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, the cast list that they got for All Stars 2 is solid. All Stars 3, from what I've seen, is also solid.
Whoa, no spoilers. Spoiler-free podcast.
Right. But what I think that means is that when they did that casting for those original lunatics back in the day, they nailed it on the head. Like, they knew how to pick people who were just fucking idiots who wanted to do this for the rest of their lives. And then guess what? Flash forward 15 years later, they still want to come back. Like, who from the modern challenge would do that in 15 years? Maybe Corey when he's on, like, when he's got his own version of Cheaper by the Dozen.
Oh, no, that was good.
So how would you compare this season of the Real Challenge to the last season of the Real Challenge? Better, worse, same? I think it's definitely a step above.
I think so too. I think this season is definitely better. Absolutely.
Which is it makes it almost like doubly impressive based off the fact of like the cast just from day one of this season compared to
we shit on the cast.
Yeah,
we thought coming into the season, I'm not gonna hand up. I thought this season was gonna be us like literally drinking a fifth every week because
still, but
yeah,
Mickey Mouse over here. Oh, God. So I don't know. I feel like we're in a good spot, but let's just move on. I don't even want to talk about this.
Say the challenge, good.
Chuck Norris, dodgeball, verbal meme. All right. Let's go into this day in challenge history. Alex, what do you got for us?
All right. I got a quick trivia question. This day in challenge history. So last time Adam was the one guessing. Of course, he's locked up now, not on our pod. So which of you two wants to guess first?
I will nominate Trev.
No, I think Andy goes first because Trevor won the first time we did it.
Oh God!
So Andy will give his answer. I'm not going to say anything, and then Trevor's going to give his answer. The question is:
I want to preface this with I'm historically bad at challenge trivia. Continue.
The question is: this day in challenge history, episode 3, October 20th, episode 3 of Cutthroat. There was a challenger who quit. Who was it?
I know it. It's pretty easy.
No chat.
I'm gonna go with, and keep in mind that the chat is free to answer as well. I'm gonna go.
This is very easy. Come on.
I think, and I know his name got brought up last week, but I'm going Big Easy.
All right, Andy's going Big Easy.
That's what I was going. I thought it was. He was definitely in the elimination.
He was just like this all season.
I mean, he's But I don't know. I thought it was him. I know he was in the
the
elimination.
thing is,
Because
what's kind of funny about this is that in this episode that I'm talking about, Big Easy won the elimination
I know.
for the guys.
Dot.
So does that mean that the person who quit was a girl? Yes.
I thought he definitely quit during that, and he got sent into. Oh, when you meant, I thought you meant quit the challenge.
No,
I thought you quit.
just quit the season. Quit the season.
No. Oh, I have no idea. I thought it was him. I know he was in the elimination.
Big Easy won that elimination, but there was a girl, the same episode 3, who just up and quit. Where's Boogie? People are calling for Boogie.
Yeah.
Was that who was Easy's partner in one of the seasons? The short chick who was on All Stars recently, who's super obnoxious.
That was Katie.
Am I crazy in thinking Katie quit a season?
No, Katie
was on Cutthroat though.
She was involved in the Cutthroat quitting, but she was not the girl that actually quit.
I give up.
All right, I'm gonna say two words, and then whoever guesses it first gets the points.
Oh God.
The hint is busted implant.
Siobhan.
It was Siobhan. Siobhan quit against
she?
Katie. She was going to go against Katie in the elimination. TJ was pissed.
God, he sounds pissed.
Hope to see you never.
I'm surprised the chat didn't get that.
Yeah, me too.
Very quiet.
That was a stumper. That was.
The thing about Cutthroat is I like that season too, but it's so overshadowed by the banana backpack that like the rest of the season is just kind of like mushed together. I feel like.
True.
Makes sense.
God, it's almost like you guys are paying attention to a football game or something and not responding. So with that being said, let's hop into MVP, LVP. You boys know how to do MVP, LVP. First one in the chat. Tonight will be the order. My guess tonight, the order will be Alex, Andy, Trev. Just a guess. We'll see what it is.
Well, so my classic trying to stall while we wait for MVP, LVP order question to you guys is, what do we think of Adam coming on the pod last week?
I mean,
who?
Adam Nitos?
Will we see him back again?
Yeah, we'll see him back. I think I can honestly say Adam Nitos will be back on another challenge podcast, STP podcast.
This season?
No, this season. Come on, I'm not that stupid. He'll be on. I think the over/under's got to be set at season 41 for us.
I think he's got it on the chalkboard.
The higher level guys will understand that one.
Well, we're on what? Season 37 now. Last time he was on was War of the Worlds 2, which makes season 33.
1?
No, it was 1. It was 1. It was War of the Worlds 1.
Yeah, so season.
I think that was 33, 32.
They all blend together.
All right, what's our order?
Wait, sorry. One last thing before we talk about Jesse Adams. Because he did Andy, Alex, Trev is the order tonight. Andy, Alex, Trev. Can we talk about how in next week's preview, and if you don't watch next week's previews, plug your ears right now.
I do not watch next week's previews.
You don't?
No.
All right. In that case, here, just do this. All right. So I don't think you can hear us now. Andy, shake your head. Can you hear us? Okay, you can still hear me? Just
What about the preview?
I was going to say, did you notice how they were doing the 500th challenge?
Oh, yeah.
Very us-esque, stealing that from us.
Next week, is that really the 500th episode of the whole show?
Yes. Very us-esque. They stole that shit from us. Blowing it up. That was definitely an ad-lib in late that you could definitely see TJ just like went to the studio.
He said that to nobody. Yeah.
Exactly. Bullshit. Stealing it from us. What else is new?
March Madness.
God, watch it too soon. All right, Andy, you can unmute yourself now.
Easy.
All right. Well, Andy, now that you can hear us, let's have you start for MVP, LVP. Who you got tonight, big fella?
All right. I actually not hoping to go first for MVP. My MVP for tonight is gonna be CT. I mean, I'm notorious for giving CT my MVP all the time, but until he gives me a reason not to, I will continue to give him MVP. I mean, he dominated the daily. He put the team on his back. He went first for everyone on the show, and he made it look easy. And he was not in anyone's like actual conversations for elimination at all. Like he is just running this game. Like he is doing everything. Like he is. This is his season to lose. I wholeheartedly believe that. I'm pretty sure I had him as my number one in power rankings. I was right about Fezzi being dead last for my power rankings. I continue to back myself for CT as my number one. He had a great showing today, was not in anyone's like mouth in terms of who's going in. And he dropped Nelly T, added Kyle. In my mind, that's an upgrade. And again, it's his challenge to lose.
Solid pick. Alex, who you got for us?
Yeah, that's a good pick. I think I was torn between CT and this person, so my MVP tonight, I'm going to go Kyle. I'm always a fan of when somebody has a target on their back in like a very particular episode, gets called in, and is able to prove himself, much like Ashley did last week. Kyle just, got called in by a rookie and proved himself in an elimination that like has a track record in. We saw his partner, we saw his ultrasound baby, we saw him, crying that he ruined the challenge. I mean, what the fuck was he doing not pulling the cord? Like, why was he hugging the thing? The rules are very clear. But anyway, I mean, he won an elimination. We'll have to call on our stat guy, but he has to have a pretty damn good elimination record. I would guess like maybe 6-3, 6-2s of the world. But just like tonight, he clocked in. Very good episode, I think, by Kyle. So I'm going to go MVP Kyle.
Let's also not sleep on Kyle's partner. Good for Kyle. Good for Kyle.
Watch it, Andy.
Upgrade from Kara.
Arr. How was her pirate safari?
We'll get into that.
Okay, I'll ask Andy.
I think they might still be there. Some of them.
I hope so. You spent $5,000 on it.
Turbo's still there. I think Brittany's shaking her ass.
Jesus. Didn't Andy say if he actually went, he was going to ask Turbo to show me your walk? I am Turbo.
Imagine.
My MVP tonight is going to be Ed from the Circle. Of course, come on. I think Ed is just one of those guys that is just so loyal, and he just plays the game completely wrong that you just have to admire it. Like, very straight up guy, tried to make everybody happy. Very good, team leader, spokesperson. And I also think the most important thing that he did tonight was guaranteed a spot on next season. I think by him going in, showing TJ that he likes to compete, he likes to get after it. I think that goes a long way, and by doing that, I think that guaranteed him a spot on next season, and I hope to see him next season. I hope to see him on the challenge and not Ed from the Circle 2.0, I guess. So,
great pick.
My MVP tonight is Ed from the Circle. My LVP tonight, I mean, I think there's not really that hard of a pick, I think. But I'm gonna de-weight it up to Alex and Andy to slide a pick over, because I'm gonna go with P3 as my LVP tonight. I think P3 is just a joke. I need Burger King back on the challenge. I I don't care about these little kitty Lunchables or adult version Lunchables anymore. I want to see King Tony back. And speaking of Tony, can we bring him back on the show, please? I want to see Tony with a crown. I want to see if it's Nani. I want to see whoever with the crowns on, just smashing their faces with Whoppers and fries and chicken fries and whatever BK else has to offer. So, pick tonight is going to be P3.
Good pick. I think we've done some of the sponsors in the past. My LVP pick for tonight, I'm going to go Logan. I think he is literally a dead man walking. He's a dead man hobbling almost. He doesn't get the LVP if Ed from the circle comes back and he has like a buddy still. He has another rookie kind of taking some of the bullets. But I mean, the fact that like I was surprised that he was able to make it across the thing and like actually pull the wire for his team. Good for him. I just feel like he has nothing going for him. He's not even interested in Big D anymore. I think he just like even in his confessionals, he looks and sounds very defeated. Like he wants to go home. He talked about like, the lions smell the blood and they want to eat me and all this. So I think like I think he's probably going to last through next episode if it's Girls' Day. Maybe not with the hair he has, but I think overall he's just not going to last much longer. So I'm going LVP. I like the guy, but LVP Logan.
Wow.
Well, don't forget too, he's still on that damn pink team. He's not winning. He's not winning a daily anytime soon.
And now they got Corey and Nelly on that team together. So like if they're gonna back each other up every time. So Logan just has nothing going for him.
All right, last LVP of the night, Andy. Who you got for us? And I'm not suggesting look at the chat; that might give you any ideas. But I'm not saying look at the chat.
I mean, OK Squid says Fezzi. Fezzi stinks. How do you get kicked off before Josh? I literally ranked him lower on my power rankings. That's not a question to me. That's not surprising. My LVP for tonight is going to be Corey's ego. That dude thought that he was going to turn around the pink team. He was going to do Corey's boot camp, and they were going to be the best team ever, and he was going to be the leader and the face of them. Well, guess what? His boot camp sucked. They go into the challenge. They think they win it. Oh, hold on. Hezzy Hay from TJ. You don't. You lose. And when Kyle gets thrown in, he gets the fuck out of there. Like that. Corey was going into this thinking that he was going to unite his team. They were going to do well. They're going to be the new pink team moving forward. No. They fell on their face. And the second anyone from the pink team got a chance to leave, they got out. Corey's ego was so big for like 60% of this episode, and it just got totally shattered. So my LVP for tonight is going to be Corey's ego. Know your place. Know your role. You're not that guy, pal.
You're not that guy. Any other lasting honorable mentions, lasting remarks? MVP, LVP?
I was going to say one honorable mention for LVP, a little obscure, but I think we kind of touched on it earlier. I think this episode, Casey, really just pissed me off in her like 2 to 3 confessionals that she usually gets. Like she had the one that we talked about of like, staying like calm and collected, and my team looks at me as a leader. And then Nani was complimenting her. And then she also had one later in the episode where it was basically like her talking up the green team as if like everybody wants to come to them. They're the best team and all this. And like, I don't know. It's just, she didn't do anything. Like she didn't make a game move. She just kind of pissed me off all episode.
Agreed.
Anything else? No? Any other things from tonight's episode? What do we got? Just another banger?
We got another good one.
We're back. Challenge is fun. I'm fucking excited for next week.
Yeah, I'm excited. Honorable mention, Tammy from the Circle deserves an honorable MVP. Great pick, Mikey the Doctor.
It's,
I
it's go ahead.
an honorable mention for MVP. Trevor kind of piggybacked off of yours, but I think in general we have to give an honorable mention of MVP to the From the Circle family. The From the Circle family really showed out today for all the reasons you said, and for Tammy. She's on another show we don't even know about. Maybe we see her on like elderly bloodlines. I mean, that would be kind of electric. So the From the Circle family was buzzing tonight.
What is? I'm so confused on what the whole circle thing is. Is this it? Can somebody tell me? Is this it?
Yeah, it's definitely.
I see allies and lies, but I don't see spies.
Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? It does.
That's what I know.
Did they just copyright it? They were just looking at the poster like, allies, lies. Let's just flip them around and put spies in front of us. Oh my God. Wait, it's on Netflix?
We'll get into that.
I'm searching it, but I can't find Ed. Do we?
Let me just Google Ed from the Circle and see what pops up.
Well, that's what I did. I can't. Nothing's coming up.
I mean, literally, if you Google Ed from the Circle, the first thing that pops up is a picture of Ed from the Circle with Tammy from the Circle.
Stop. Legend. God. All right. Well, I guess we'll just end it here. Thank you guys for listening to a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I've been your host, Trevor. You can follow us on Twitter at Stir the Pod. You can also follow us on Instagram at is it underscore or dot? Yeah, it's underscore. Stir underscore the underscore pod. Relax, big fella. Love you guys. Shout out Duffy. Bye-bye.
Love you.